So if you're somebody that is trying to like go after something or like a specific goal, or or maybe you just got into something that you want to learn, a new trade, a new skill, a new passion that you've been kind of like holding off for a long time. I feel like the most important thing to ask yourself is what would you be doing if money wasn't a concept? Like really ask yourself, and I think this is the most important question to ask, because especially how like the economy is right now, how the world is. I feel like it's very important to ask those questions because a lot of people seem to be in positions where they fucking hate, and it's like people seem to be um kind of like lost in a sense. And I would say like in a way like maybe I am too, because I've been just working just dead end like warehouse jobs and shit like that. I'm 25 right now, so like that's all I really know. And there's sometimes where I think like damn, should I have like went a different route, more realistic route, as what they call it. And it's crazy to think, because it's like if you really think about it, like being realistic is just gonna fuck you over in the end these days. You see everything with like a lot of corporations, layoffs, AI, um, just like companies just trying to replace people, replace artists. And it's crazy to think, because I feel like in a way companies don't really have leverage anymore as they used to be. Like if you like wanted to make music, if you want to be YouTuber, or not YouTuber, if you wanted to like make art in general, any form of that, like you had to like you had to hope and pray that like fucking like that whatever it is that you're applying to, or like that they will accept you pretty much, like. And that was like if they didn't accept you, that was done deal. You couldn't do nothing about it unless like you made your way out of that, which some people did back in the day, and that's good for them. But that's not really going to be the case for a whole lot of people, but it's still possible. And going back to like what would you be doing if money wasn't a concept? And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't really like ask themselves, because when people are going after their dreams and stuff like that, I feel like people don't really realize it's much more than just like the money aspect. If anything, I think you should make money the byproduct of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life. Because like if for example, like designing, for example, graphic design, photography, videos and shit like that, like I um I feel like if you enjoy doing it, then that's what matters the most. And I feel like people these days are really hyper fixated on just like getting reciprocation right there and then. So they'll just like do things just because it's like popular or whatever the fuck. And it's like they don't really care about the whole like process aspect of it. Like what I was talking about in my last video, if you want to check that out. Um, I was just pretty much saying people just don't really seem to give a fuck about like the I guess you can say the way they're going about it, like whatever it is that they're like trade or skill or whatever it is that they're learning. Um, it seems to be that like, you know, like for everybody, money seems to be like the main centerpiece of why what they're doing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing too, because at the end of the day, like we all gotta eat, we all have to like, make a living for ourselves at the end of the day. But I feel like if you're like hyper focused on just like the money aspect, then I feel like it's just never gonna be enough for you, and then you're just gonna be burned out. And um, like all these years of like me like being I guess you could say like an artist and stuff. I feel like that I had a problem with like, oh, like I wish I had the reciprocation, or like I wish I was making income like earlier. But I feel like the fact that it took me a long time to like get any sort of reciprocation out of it is what makes it so special. And there's gonna be times where like maybe like it fluctuates when it comes to just like your belief, or just like our money, or whatever it is that it may be that is kind of like holding you back. I feel like that's you loving whatever it is that you're doing is gonna help you a lot when it comes to like going after what like your what you aspire to be like. And I feel like a lot of people, especially like the morality of people these days, like You think I just see people not really giving a fuck about the thing that they're doing, like not putting actual time and effort into it, you know, like, and it seems to be like very normalized and stuff like that. Um, I honestly just feel like that people just do things just for like attention or just like making some money and fame and you know validation, maybe power a little bit. And it's just like crazy to think about because it's like, you know, if you don't have a backbone to support what you're doing and stuff like that, I feel like you're just gonna give up. And I feel like in a way, like if we're being really honest with ourselves, most people are gonna give up. That I've even wanted to give up like a few years ago, at my lowest. And I feel like just the fact that like I love what I did, I love what I'm doing. Even now to this day, I will never stop loving what I'm doing. So that's gonna help you push through whatever it is that you want to do with your life, you know. And you know, I feel like even if it takes like set amount, like whatever amount of years it is, it's like as long as you love doing it, that's all that matters, you know. Like I'm not saying like I'm like where I'm at, but I feel very like appreciative of like how far I've come. And you know, like can I afford to like move out on my own and shit like that? No, not right now. But you know, like at the same time though, like you have to like really just be genuinely passionate about whatever it is that you're doing. And I feel like that should just be the drive that is gonna help you on your journey and stuff like that. Because like at the end of the day, if you even if you quit like whatever it is that you're doing, like what else would you be doing that's like better, if that makes sense? Like what a more realistic route. And what the realistic route, from what I see, especially like on the news or whatever, the realistic route is kind of like going downhill in a way. And I think it's more rational to be more unrealistic nowadays, you know, as like opposed to maybe like before COVID times, like, you know, the realistic route was still like valid. And I feel like maybe that's why a lot of people like before maybe didn't like believe in themselves as much. But you know, after COVID, like everybody like kind of went to the internet more so. Um, and people are doing things more than ever now. Like you see people that are real estate agents, barbers, artists, musicians, whatever, like any industry, right? Which is great. I was talking about in my last video about how I love how people are starting to believe in themselves more and they want to like they want more for themselves. But I think like with you can't have like good if it doesn't come with bad. And I feel like if we're being honest, like most people, and this kind of might sound counterintuitive a little bit, but most people aren't really gonna be cut out for it. And I know that that doesn't really sound the best, but that's the reason why like the grades are what they are, because not everybody can be great. And I'm not saying like that in like a negative way, but I feel like, you know, like most people are just like most people are just gonna want it for like the outcome of it at the end of the day. You know, they see everyone else doing it and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get a little slice of that. But it's like if they're not gonna get reciprocation, they're just gonna give up and just do whatever the fuck and kind of like slide through life and just like be whatever about it, you know? Which I mean, shit, I'm like, I wish I can do that too, but like, I feel like for me, I had to like be like, I had to like just keep learning and keep evolving, and that's really what's all about, you know? Like when you're following your dreams and shit, it's not really about like the whole um, like you know, getting money or maybe even like the art itself in times like it's just like learning your potential and learning that like you can do whatever it is that you want, you know, that you put your mind to and stuff like that. And you really do like, you know, you really do battle with your, I guess you can say, your inner thoughts. Because if you because obviously following your dreams is very challenging and it takes a lot of courage to like do whatever it is that you're trying to go after and stuff like that. And you just learn more about yourself. And I feel like these past few years, I feel like I learned more about myself than I ever have in the past like 1 2 years than I did like years way prior to that, and I'm very appreciative of like, the spot I'm in and stuff like that, like I feel very like confident in where I'm going, even though I'm not where I want to be yet, but I still love and appreciate the journey of it. And that's what's really what matters is the journey of this like, thing we call life or whatever it is that, you aspire to be like. Um I don't think that like I don't think that it's like healthy to um kind of just like doubt yourself, like, because at the end of the day, like it's really just mindset at the end of the day, and I feel like just the better the mindset you have, it's gonna give you more leverage on the things you're going after, because it's like, I can be the most talented, the most like smart, most intellectual, or whatever the fuck person in the world, but if I don't have the mindset to like, support that, then I have no backbone, like how do you expect to like succeed if you don't like necessarily like believe in yourself? So going back to like, being unrealistic with your goals and stuff like that, I feel like it's very important to like, go at it in a way that's like being unrealistic, but set like the small goals realistic, like what can I do today to, take a step like closer to whatever goal it is that you might have, and that's gonna really guide you through your journey in this life, because it's not even just about your career, it's about just the people even around you, like the people that you can inspire to like do more things, and like um just basically just being a good example for people, and just like the whole like just it's setting being like a good role model for other people. And I'm not saying I'm the best role model, either, but like if you're like genuinely doing the things that you love to do, people like can feel that, even if they don't think that way, and it's like the more you just like build like just build the whole structure of whatever it is eventually it's like you're gonna build a foundation that like, that, and that's leverage for you. I've been designing for a minute now, for like years and years and years, and obviously again, I'm not like where I want to be necessarily, but I strongly do believe that I've built a foundation for myself that like pretty much nobody can take away from me. I have a mindset right now that I feel like I wouldn't have this mindset if I wasn't chasing after my goals or my dreams or whatever it is that I'm passionate about. And I really do recommend that, you do the same as well. Um but that's all I got here for today. I just woke up right now and I just had to get this shit off my chest. But anyways, peace out.